A Quiet Place was directed by and stars John Krasinski, as well as Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe. It's this year's horror hit from a director mostly known for comedy, which is apparently a thing now after Get Out was actually really good. And it made me realise something: horror and comedy aren't really all that different when it comes down to what really makes them work. Essentially, it's all about timing at the end of the day. I think, anyway. I don't know. I've never tried it. But I feel like if you can do one well, you could probably do the other one well. I don't know. But Get Out was a horror and a comedy, and it balanced them pretty well. So, yeah, I've been rambling a bit. It's because I don't really have much to say about this film. So, A Quiet Place is about a family trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world that's been overrun by aliens. I think they're aliens. I don't know. That are blind and hunt through their incredibly sensitive ears. They have to go through life never making a sound. And this premise made me both very excited and very nervous for the film, because it sounded like a premise that opens itself up very naturally to a lot of good scare potential. That's a phrase now. But nervous because it also means if you have one of those cocks who never shuts up during the film in the cinema, then it's officially game over as far as this film's concerned. Thankfully, I didn't have that, so I could properly appreciate just how nerve-shredding this film is. It uses its premise and it rides it out for all it's worth. And once the shit really hits the fan, there's barely a moment where you aren't holding your breath. There was a moment towards the end of the film where I jump-scared myself by accidentally brushing my arm against my water bottle because it made a noise. And really, any film that can immerse me in its experience that much has got to be doing something right. So, in terms of direction and, obviously the very sparing use of sound, it did it brilliantly. And the acting's also great. Occasionally the kids are a bit rubbish, but that's only really when they talk, which, obviously isn't that often. And there were also a few things in the plot that don't make a lot of sense, mostly in the category of why don't they just do this, make things a lot easier for yourself, that drags the film down a bit, especially when you consider how many of them there end up being. But despite all those little details, I really fucking like The Quiet Place. It's not the most inventive horror film ever, like some people are saying. It's definitely the best example this year of a film that works entirely because of its central gimmick, and it uses it for all it's worth, and it knows when to stop. It knows when the gimmick's tired, and it doesn't. Yeah, it knows when the gimmick's tired. It stops there, and I'd say it's the best horror film I've seen since Get Out. Probably. It's it's just good, fun horror. Doesn't try to be anything deeper, and yeah, so you should definitely see it if you want some better done horror than most of the stuff these days, like that. I think I really need to go and see some really shitty horror films though. The problem is they're so shit, they're always out of the cinema before I can see them. Like I don't get to see Wish Upon or Truth or Dare or Winchester. I'm pretty sure I would have enjoyed them all because they look fucking hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try and see more really shitty horror films just to laugh at. But anyway, for now, A Quiet Place was a pretty fucking good one. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So guys, have you seen A Quiet Place? What did you think of it? Or did you prefer it to Get Out, since everyone's comparing them now for some reason? Whatever it is, let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.